mean, there's zero room for self-doubt in this sport. If you're trying to pull under a like 400-pound clean, hesitation could get you hurt. What I need to do is just trust that I'm strong enough to do it and trust that my body knows how to handle the weight.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. Cause when it's game time, seconds away and the game's on the line. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Beating the buzzer like, this is my time. This is my moment. You better bet that I'm on it. Ready and set, I'ma own it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Be Stellar podcast. I'm your host, Stella Atwood. This is mom producer Meredith Atwood. And on today's episode, we have Hampton Morris. Yay! So, first and foremost, there is a very important thing that I need to ask. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much better is Snoop Dogg at weightlifting than you?
Oh, probably 11.
This 11, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what
I
a
got
beast.
so tickled at this. This was that so fun?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
How cool is he? Like, is he super nice or is he just like...
Yeah, he's really nice.
Is he?
Yeah, he's exactly like you'd expect him to be.
Like super just like nonchalant and chill?
Yeah, a lot of energy. Yeah, it was just fun to be around.
How
I wanna
did
meet Snoop
he
Dogg.
end up around you guys? I mean, I know he was everywhere, but like,
Yeah,
talk us through like how he ended up on the platform.
Like, how did he get there?
How did Snoop get there?
So he'd actually specifically requested weightlifting. He wanted to go and meet the weightlifters, watch a little bit of training, learn the difference between the snatch and clean and jerk. He did that with a few different sports, but weightlifting was one of the ones that he specifically requested.
Amazing.
Whoa, that's so cool of Snoop. What a cool dude. He needs to come to the CrossFit world. He
Definitely.
needs to come over here. I want to meet Snoop Dogg. Anyways, let's kind of start at the very beginning. When was the first time you touched a barbell and like how you got into it?
I kind of grew up in CrossFit gyms just because my parents both worked out as CrossFitters. They both coached CrossFit for a little while. My mom, of course, still coaches CrossFit. I've been familiar with the space for a while. First time, it's hard to say the exact first time just because like I said, I grew up in CrossFit gyms. I always think of my first local level weightlifting meet being the time that I really started to get into the sport. And that was about 8 years ago, 8.5 maybe.
How old are you now?
I'm 20.
Okay, so let's do the math, Meredith. Okay, so you were 12. And what made you, so growing up in the CrossFit gyms, like obviously you're exposed to fitness, but what really resonated with you about making the
Just
switch
like-
to lifting?
Yeah,
Not doing pull-ups, no burpees.
no running.
So I actually still do pull-ups pretty much every day.
Oh,
Yeah, part of a warm-up. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the cardio, but I really enjoyed the lifts and just kind of made sense for me to try out local competitions. Really enjoyed it. Did my first national level meet about a year after my first local meet. I should mention I started doing weightlifting and CrossFit stuff to get stronger for soccer. I played soccer for a while. Yeah.
well, that's
But
a lot of
after that-
cardio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with soccer though. My dad will tell the story of how anytime I had the ball and I was running down the field, I would just giggle the whole time. Completely happy.
Why? Like, because you were like, I've got it and you don't? Like, what was,
Yeah, I was
or you
just
just loved
excited.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're like, I have it. Y'all don't have the ball. I have it right now.
Pretty much.
That's better than Stella, who would just like kick her leg back as far as she could and like hit balls in people's faces.
Yeah.
They finally put her in at goalie. They're like, you need to stay here. And she was like, well, I quit then.
I was a goalie for like the rest of the season just because I kicked a girl in the face twice and won.
Not on purpose. It's just you were, I mean, if soccer had high sticking, you were high sticking. You were just,
Mhm.
Yeah, my bad. When did you know like you could go to the Olympics, or when did you believe that you actually could?
Didn't become like a serious goal for me until the start of the quad for Paris. Really, I realized that I had a seriously good shot at making it that quad.
well, tell
And
us
that
a
was
little bit
just-
about what the quad is. So a lot of teenagers who are listening, they're mostly CrossFitters, I would imagine, or my
Yeah.
parents. My parents love the podcast. It's their favorite thing to watch. So tell us a little bit what the quad is when you say that.
Yeah, so when I say quad, I mean the 4 year period leading up into the Olympics.
Okay, got it.
So what I'm specifically meant when I said that when the quad started is when they released the qualification system for this Olympics. Just looking at how it works, I realized that I had a really good shot at making the team when it became a really big motivator for me.
It's super interesting though when you think of when calling it the quad. I mean, that's 4 years ago. I mean, Stella, that's like your age essentially.
Yeah.
Now, like you're almost
That's in
16, Hampton's at 20. So like that's a long, I mean, I'm sure
a
it
long
probably went
time.
faster than you can imagine, or maybe slower at times, but it's a long time
Mhm.
to work for something.
Yeah, it was actually less because they held Tokyo in 2021,
Yeah, the
so
2020. Yeah.
not really a full quad. And that made qualification really, really tough
Yeah.
because I had to squeeze extra events into basically a 2 year period to have enough events for qualification. Just
That's
made it
like a
really tough for a lot of
complicated.
people.
That's complicated, the kind of Olympic lifting, but y'all's qualification kind of process is a little confusing. Could you like explain it to people who just like have no idea? Is
It's
it
a
hard to
magic
explain?
wand.
Is it hard to explain Olympic weightlifting? Like
Wait, the
Um,
qualification or
the
the sport?
qualification.
Okay.
the qualification for this one was actually kind of straightforward. So there were 7 Olympic qualifying events. The first was the World Championships in 2022. No, like at the very end of 2022. Any athlete that wanted to compete at the Olympics had to do at least 5 of the 7. And there were 2 specific events that were completely mandatory. Qualification is based only on each lifter's very best performance at any of those competitions. If by the end of the quad, one of your performances, one of the top 10 performances of your weight class, then you qualify.
Okay. Like
Um,
in one of the competition. Got it.
right.
Yeah, okay. That makes
Um,
sense.
then there were other rules like each country cannot send more than one person per weight class. Each country can't send more than 3 people per gender. Didn't affect many countries. China could have sent more than that. The US could have sent more women.
I don't really know a lot about Olympic weightlifting and how it is training wise, but I have been on a few strength cycles and it is hard on the body. So how do you like stay healthy? How does your body stay healthy and how do you stay recovered?
Yeah, so pretty much all of my free time goes towards recovery stuff. I have all kinds of recovery modalities at the house. Like we have a sauna, we have a cold plunge, have a hyperbaric chamber, just all kinds of stuff. Stretch whenever I have time. Just try to take care of my body. Then once a week, I'll go see my physical therapist.
How about that side of, of course, like you're taking care of your body physically. How do you take care of your mind? Because it's just endless hours of training and moving really heavy weight. How do you stay like mentally good?
He's like, I'm not mentally good. I'm going to flip out right now on your podcast. Or if you're not, like, I mean, talk about if that's
Yeah.
hard, like, because I imagine it's pretty intense. Maybe what
Yeah,
do you do for fun? What do you do to decompress?
yeah, to decompress, I like to read, relaxing, but I'm not great about doing the like mental side of things. Like the things that would help me a lot are like journaling and meditation, that kind of thing. Not good about it. And even if I have time to do it, I just don't think about doing it. Always just other things I'd rather be doing.
So
Yeah.
would you say like you're in an okay headspace?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Or how about like when you are going out for a really, really heavy lift, what do
Which
you
they
think
all
about?
are. They're
Well,
all
yeah,
heavy. Every
it's
one of
it's
his
all
lifts are
heavy.
heavy.
But like a lift that you're like, okay, I've hit this 5 times in my life. Like, what do you
Hmm.
think about?
Or 0 times.
Or zero? Like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, how
Uh,
do you handle that pressure? Like the Olympic lifting pressure. I think what Stella's trying to get to is like CrossFit is like, okay, stand by, da 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 da, go. And it's like,
You
chaos.
have
But
like eight
Olympic
yeah.
lift,
events.
yes, but Olympic
Hmm.
lifting is like you have 6 attempts. You flew
Yep.
all the way around the world for that.
Yeah.
How do you handle that sort of mindset and pressure?
I mean, there's zero room for self-doubt in this sport. If you're trying to pull under a like 400-pound clean, hesitation could get you hurt. what I need to do is just trust that I'm strong enough to do it and trust that my body knows how to handle the weight, trust my technique, and just approach the lift knowing that I can make it.
Now, what about let's see if someone's trying to learn how to snatch. If you
Mhm.
could tell them one thing about technique, what would you tell them?
I'm still learning how to snatch. Uh,
He would say, pick another sport, go play soccer.
Or like if
Mm.
you could explain like how to do a snatch in like a few sentences, just like a few cues that could help somebody
Grip it and rip it.
and rip it.
Yeah.
No.
I'm
I
sorry,
sort
I'm
of
really
love
not
this.
sure.
No, I sort of love this because
Like you're really thinking it through.
I know I love it
I feel
because
like
I
he's gonna have
think,
some like secret to tell people.
well, no, I don't think that.
If I had a
I mean,
secret, I'd be using it.
that's what I'm saying. I think it's so like, I mean, this is me interpreting that silence. I feel like it's just so ingrained in like what you do
Mm.
that you're like, I don't even know what I do. Like,
Yeah. What should I start with?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Maybe like the position before you lift the bar off the floor.
That's so different for everyone, though.
Yeah, it
Yeah. It's like how
really
you
So
set
varies from
yourself
person to
up.
person.
I think you ask terrible questions, Stella Atwood.
Look,
I think you
man,
need to work on your question list.
like
So
people
like when I
outside
see
that
people
sport.
snatching, I'm like, you need to put your butt down. That's all I
Yeah,
can think of.
because the second, the bar comes off the floor, the butt shoots up. And it's like a
Yeah, that's
deadlift.
Get your butt down.
that's something that I have a hard time with sometimes.
What was it like walking out on that stage when they did like not the opening ceremonies, but when they called
Like
your weight
the
class and they did the introduction? Like
the
I was
introductions.
I was at home for that, and I think Stella was in school. And I like just videoed that and sent it to her because you just look so happy. It was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what did it feel like? Were you feeling that moment, or were you terrified? Like, what was that like?
That was amazing. That's the first time I've ever done something like that for introductions, like individual introductions rather than just have us all line up as a group and like say each person's name, have them raise their hand. That's it. So that was a really cool experience. Again, the first time they've ever done that for us. Really, I was trying to stay calm. Didn't want to get too ahead of myself. Yeah, by that time, so I was feeling kind of nervous ahead of the competition. Once I got weighed in, that most of that went away when the clocks stopped working. And there was the delay. It got delayed by like 45 minutes or an hour.
Right, that's what happened. The clock
Uh,
stopped working.
yeah, the official timekeeping clocks just weren't working.
I knew that there was a delay, but I don't think we knew why.
Yeah,
No.
Wow.
that actually made me feel really comfortable. That makes it feel like a Pan Am meet. At Pan Am's, anything can disrupt the competition. Like there have been times where they've scheduled the opening ceremonies in between the snatch and clean and jerk of a session. Really, it prepares you for anything. But when that went wrong, that made me feel a lot more comfortable.
That's funny.
Yeah, made it feel like really helped me realize that the Olympics isn't all that special. It's not any different from any other meet.
I mean, that definitely helps like mentally. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I've done this so many times, just got to go do it again. A little bit
exactly.
heavier, but I just have to go do it again. So I think that's cool. I mean, I feel like that kind of goes for all sports. It's like you're going on the CrossFit floor and you're like, okay, I might not have done this workout, but I've done these movements so many times and I've done,
Yeah,
certain styles of that workout. Or if you're, going on a soccer field, you're like, okay, I know how to play the game.
I know what this ball
Same
is.
thing. I know what this ball
yeah.
is. I know how to giggle while running with it. Like,
I mean, I feel like you're like, oh, I don't journal, I didn't meditate, and I don't know about my mindset. But the fact that you're able to just kind of take that in stride, I mean, that definitely says a lot about your mindset and the prep that you've done over the years. I mean, talk a little bit about like, I know your dad's your coach, right?
Yeah.
How is that? How is it having your parental figure also tell you what to do in the gym? Like how is
Yeah.
that? I mean, you can tell us, we won't say anything. It's not a podcast or anything. No, I would
Yeah.
love to hear about that and a little bit more. I know that was on Stella's list too.
Yeah, that is very hard sometimes because I mean, if we're disagreeing about something, there's no way to get away from each other. Uh, but I mean, really, when it comes down to it, we want the same thing for me, even if we disagree on what that means in the moment. I wouldn't have been able to be nearly this successful without if he wasn't my coach. Being with me pretty much all the time, he's able to hold me accountable when I'm not. When there's something that I might want to do that goes against my goals, he's able to point it out, say, "Hey, is that a good idea right now?" He keeps me focused on what I'm trying to achieve.
So, like, I know during your free time, you do the recovery stuff, you stretch all the time, but
Mhm.
do you do anything for fun? Like, do you have fun?
Yeah, I like to read.
So that's your fun.
Yeah.
Do you like go out with friends? Do you have friends? Do you need friends?
Stella's asking because she's recruiting friends. Don't take offense to it.
No, seriously, like I make this podcast to make friends. Like
She's
this is how I
Yeah.
am.
This
I'm
is how
not
she
being
makes
like
her
you need
friends.
friends. It's legit me making friends.
Yeah, I mean, all my friends, pretty much a lot of my friends are people that I've met through the sport. When I think of my friends, I think of, people that I train with on a pretty regular basis.
What do you like to read?
A lot of fantasy. Uh, really like Tolkien. My favorite author is Neil Gaiman. Yeah, mostly fantasy.
Were you like did you go to public school or did you go to school in person growing up?
Yeah, so lockdown started towards the end of my sophomore year of high school. Then I did junior year entirely online. That was really good for my training. It freed up my schedule a lot. Then took senior year in person. Still have some friends from high school too. Just don't see them as often because a lot of them did go out of state for college or at least a few hours away.
What is this light behind you that is lighting up?
Oh, it's just
It's real.
decoration for the
That's
gym.
so cool. Is that like in the wood?
No, it's
It's like a thing hanging.
stuck
It
to it.
looks,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks like it's like in, that is awesome. And so before we started recording officially, we commented on Hampton's barbells and he says he has more than that. So what is your total barbell count? It doesn't have to be precise, but I see 3,
Uh,
6, 9
it looks
there.
like
What's,
yeah, 9,
and
15,
why?
16, 17. Looks like 20 altogether.
Oh,
Okay. So
why?
talk about, I mean, I understand you have bars you squat with, ones you probably bench with, ones you love to lift with,
There's
but
men's bars, women's
he probably
bars.
doesn't have
Yeah,
There's some
it's
women's bars.
yeah, there are some women's bars.
that's for mama.
It's for mama. We know mama.
We know
Yeah.
mama.
hmm Yeah, sometimes my sister will come out and lift with me. But
Do you have a favorite bar and when someone touches it or messes with it, you flip out?
um, what I do is I always use the whatever brand of barbell they're going to use at the next meet that I do,
Oh,
um,
okay.
which
That
is
makes
a big
sense.
reason for all the variety.
That's so smart.
Yeah, it helps me prepare.
That makes so much sense, but like never thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, different
Yeah.
barbells behave different ways.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh-huh. Do you have like a favorite brand of barbell?
I like Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rogue has solid barbells.
Yeah, I've been lifting on a Purus bar lately. That was actually the first bar that I bought myself with my own money. The Purus training bar, fourth one down.
Stella, you know who that's named after?
Yes, I do. I have a picture of him on my wall.
Yeah, so do I. Where is he?
The one with him screaming.
Right there.
Yeah. Because my dad was at the Athens
90.
Olympics.
No.
No.
Oh, he was at the 96 Olympics. I don't think,
96.
I
96
don't
was
know
Atlanta.
which one. Yeah,
Atlanta. Not Athens. Atlanta. He was there and he was loading the bars for like some Olympic lifters. And so I have that picture. My dad gave it to me and I love that picture. It's so
That's really
cool.
cool.
He's just
Yeah.
like screaming and he's got his head turned like he
Was
normally
that
does.
from them? The 96?
think
See, I'm
so.
getting confused. I get Pyrrhus Demas confused with gosh, Sui Manalu.
Yeah, seen them on a glue.
So, yeah, no, I was going to butcher that. I
Naeem.
get them confused. I know them. I know them when I see them. I know
Yeah.
Pierce is the coach, but I forget which one he's always talking about that he like. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Ignore me, but yeah.
Do you have like a favorite place that you've traveled for weightlifting?
My favorite place that I've been is city in Argentina called Bariloche. Beautiful little town in the mountains, right next to a lake. Very, very walkable. I got to go down to the edge of the lake basically every day. Each building had its own kind of like character to it, lots of bright colors. And every like third building was a chocolate shop, so the streets smelled amazing. Really, really cool place to be in.
Do you have a least favorite?
Not really. If we're in a city or a place that's not super nice or not super safe to walk around, then we just don't leave the hotel.
What do you think about this,
Yeah.
Stella? I think we should go there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Bariloche.
Yeah. We
I'm getting all
should
the
go
pop-ups.
there.
That was a crazy travel day. It was like 30 hours, I think, something like that, just
Really?
because it's so far down south. It's
Oh,
like
Yeah.
2/3 of the
wow.
way down the country. It's a lot further than I think any of us expected.
Do you like to watch movies?
Yeah, I
What kind of movies do you like?
mean all kinds of stuff.
Do you
Okay.
like hospital romance movies? That is
So-
I don't think
apparently
I've
a
seen any.
very specific genre that teenage girls like, just so you know. If you're ever
Yeah,
on a
no, I've
date,
not
be
seen
like,
any.
I like hospital romance movies, and then see what
Like-
she says.
Yeah, like Grey's Anatomy is very solid. It's a
Mhm.
very solid show. I mean, it I think it's like 19 seasons now.
Oh,
Yeah, I've
Grey's
heard that
Anatomy.
it's very long.
It is. I only watched up to like the 14th season because
Only.
something happened and then I was like, no, I
Yeah,
don't
don't
want to
spoil it.
continue. I'm
Mhm.
not because it's
That
a
was
big
when I
spoiler.
quit too. I was like,
Yeah.
forget this show. We're done here.
But it was good up until that point, and then
Mhm.
the something happened, and then I was very devastated. So I don't know. Okay, last question. Do you have any advice for teen athletes who want to start Olympic weightlifting?
Got a couple things. One of the best things that you can do is find a coach and just stick with them. I mean, that's the first step to becoming actually learning how to do the lifts and how to compete. The advice I give for really anybody that wants to achieve something big, the sacrifices that you make and the work you put in they need to match your goals. They need to match like the loftier your goals are, the more sacrifices you have to make, the more work you have to put in, the more important it is to, get good sleep every night, eat right every day, even things that aren't necessarily on the platform or in the gym become very, very important when you're trying to do something like make the Olympics.
Okay, I lied. That
I'm
was
not
not my
done.
last
I'm not done
question.
with these
Oh,
questions. I have more questions. I want to know, okay, so like what do you struggle with? All those extra 1%, 10% changes like your diet or whatever. What do you struggle with? What's the hardest thing? Is it like getting all your sleep or is it not eating cookies? Like what is your kind of biggest struggle?
Lately, getting enough sleep's been a little tough. I always want to be up all night FaceTime with my girlfriend, that kind of thing.
So what's next for you? Are you making another run? Another quad? Are
For
we in another quad?
Oh, definitely. But
Definitely.
they still need to release the qualification information for the squad. Absolutely going to try to make the LA Games. Just it would be really special to be able to compete at the Olympics on home soil.
Yeah.
mhm.
And would you same weight class?
Um,
Is it tough for you? Will it be tough for you to stay in your current weight class or is that
I mean, really, that depends on what my body decides to do.
Mhm.
If I hit a growth spurt and can't get down to 61, then I'm not gonna do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as that doesn't happen, and as long as they don't change the weight classes, which it seems like they definitely have said that they want to change the weight classes. It'll just depend on what they end up changing to. Yeah, as long as nothing changes too much, then yeah, I'd stay about the same body weight.
Do
Now,
you ever Oh, go ahead, Stella.
what does your like diet look like? Do you have a diet? Do you track your food? Because in Olympic weightlifting, you have to stay like in your weight class.
When I'm not actually competing, I do maintain heavy 3 or 4 kilos above.
Oh, wow.
The cut's actually been really easy lately. Last few meets. Right now, I'm super far out from the next competition that I might drop down to 61 for would be Pan Am's next year, which is in July. So I've got lots of time. I'm able to like bulk up some. So I'm eating about 3,700 calories a day.
Wow,
Um,
that's fun.
yeah,
Well, it sounds like you have plenty of time to do the CrossFit season since your first competition is in July, so you can do the open. And yeah, it's perfect. You can just like
Mm.
pop on over to the CrossFit Games. Let's shake things up a little bit, Ham.
Yeah,
yeah.
come
I
on,
actually
man.
am.
It's fun over here.
Olympian and
Maybe
CrossFit Games.
might
You
pop
can do
over
it.
just for the spectator. No, but
Awesome.
I am planning to do a American Open Finals. It's a national level meet
In
in
December.
December. Yeah.
Yeah, Stella was really thinking about doing a run at weightlifting this year
Yeah.
because this will be her last year to do youth worlds or try to make a run at youth worlds. And then
Mhm.
she
Yeah.
did a local meet and she was like, I don't want to do this.
I
This is too
cannot
much
like
pressure.
I cannot
This-
sit still for 5 minutes in between lifts.
The
I
warm up
can't.
or like the warm up area, she was losing it. She's like, I'm just gonna go do some burpees or something because I can't.
Like I'm so used to just constantly moving, but having to like sit still and then like the pressure of having to make 3 lifts so you don't bomb out is like, oh no, I can't do it. I
I
don't
think
know
it's
how y'all do
hilarious
it.
that you don't think anything you do is pressure filled because, like,
No.
yes,
I mean, yes, but like okay, you have to make 3 lifts in Olympic weightlifting for,
yes.
to
Well, you
not
have to
bomb
make,
out.
yeah, well, yeah.
And then,
You
you have
just
to
need
make
to make
six
one of
lifts.
each.
You just need to make one of
one.
each. But still, that's a lot of pressure. But in the CrossFit world, if you have one bad workout, like let's say in the CrossFit Games, there's 7 other workouts. So
Well,
it's not as a big deal.
but maybe you take each lift as a workout.
I can't because it's such a fast lift
Yeah.
that you just nah, I'm freaking out just thinking about it.
Yeah,
You're like,
you
my
need to be able
pits
to
are
have
sweating.
the
Sweating.
goldfish memory.
Yeah.
Oh,
Miss a
that's
lift, just move on to the next thing.
Mm. See, like
see.
Figure out
after the
what's
lift,
wrong. Yeah.
after the lift, I'm fine. But
Mhm.
before, I'm just like tweaking out.
See,
So,
Ham does not relate. He's like, do not relate to tweaking out.
and I'm like, yeah, man, I love lifting, but I cannot do it like on a platform in silence.
Yes, you can.
I can.
You prefer not to.
I prefer not to. I prefer to do it in like a big crowd with people screaming at me
Mhm.
and the DJs and the announcers going, Stella Atwood taking this first attempt on the snatch. I prefer that. So I
You should try
think,
a powerlifting meet.
Oh,
see,
yeah.
I was thinking about that. I feel like I could do that and I
Yeah.
would enjoy it because people scream at you.
Yeah, people scream at you. There are some, like, depending on what meet you go to, I've seen some with like pyrotechnics. Yeah.
I would
Oh
go
my
to that.
gosh,
They get
Stella.
hyped. They get
You're missing
hyped at
out.
powerlifting meets. I got to bench so much more than what I'm benching now and deadlift more. My back squat's
Oh,
fine.
that's a question. Hampton, do you ever bench?
Never.
Never. I knew
Never.
it.
Like,
See,
there
Do you
is
even bench, bro?
do you even no?
no
Because there's no reason to in
Yeah,
Olympic
you don't
no
have
weightlifting.
to
reason to.
bench.
That was the question growing up. How much do you bench?
Oh, that's
Like
still the question.
literally, yeah, of course
That's
it is.
insane. Like you do
I tell
Olympic
I tell
weightlifting.
anybody I'm a weightlifter, and they say, "What do you bench?"
It's like air.
I wonder what you could bench.
You should try it. Just
No,
for fun.
because then he'll get hurt benching,
That's
and
true.
his dad will murder us.
You should
Who
bench.
told him to go in the garage and bench with one of his 27 bars? This
You
is
should
no.
you should bench when you are out of retirement or
Yes. You should do
when you
powerlifting
retire.
when you're an old man. That way
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
enjoy your pyrotechnics.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And the
If they
people
had-
screaming.
Yeah, if I had back squat only powerlifting meets, I'd be doing that. If I
Do
had
you
back squat in the
deadlift?
Olympics,
I assume you
Deadlift.
deadlift.
Yeah.
Like, do you just do
No,
plain
I
deadlifts
do.
or you do poles, right?
Yeah, I do pulls, but I
Yeah.
don't. ever like do a true deadlift.
Mm. I feel like there's no need to if you're doing pulls because it's
Well, it's a different position.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
different
is.
position.
The start, you start deadlifting like as an Olympic lifter, you'll screw up everything.
Yeah,
Totally different.
that's why CrossFitters always hurt all the time.
So do you think you'll lift forever? Like, do you see yourself just like sweeping all the age groups, being like Howard Cohen, into your 90s, lifting your 27 kilos, holding all the records? Or do you think one day you'll be like, that's enough of this? I'm going to go
Uh,
live my life now.
I mean, I like the idea of keep lifting it until I can't anymore. Even with the other parts of my life, I want to stay in the weightlifting space. Right now, I'm learning like what all would go into owning my own gym.
Have you met Stella?
I want to own a gym, and I want to be a weather woman.
And she wants to. The weather woman doesn't really work with that.
Yeah, I know, but if
She
I'm
could
rich
run your
enough, I can
CrossFit
do
division of the Morris gym. What do you love about weightlifting? Like when you wake up in the morning, what do you love about it every day?
both. Just like what makes you smile about the sport?
I mean, I love the community. Just even when I'm like off in another country, we're we're all there to watch weightlifting. We're all there to support the people on the platform. Like when you're watching a session, there aren't going to be many people cheering against anybody in particular. Like everybody wants to see like some huge lift be made. Like everybody wants to see a world record. Everybody wants to see people just like watching people lift big weights.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really fun community to be in.
I want to give you a space to brag about your accomplishments. I don't feel like we've adequately highlighted your feats from this year. So in your let's hear your 30-second or 2-minute, however long elevator pitch about what you did this year, because you did a really incredible thing, especially for an American male weightlifter. So let's hear it. Let's do your brag. This is the space to do it.
Brag about how cool you are and how strong you are.
Yes, and what great feat you did. So let's hear it, Hampton.
Okay.
You can do it. Come on, brag on yourself. It's good for you. You don't have no time for humility now.
I'll start with World Championships last year. After bombing out in the snatch, I won the first gold medal at a senior World Championships on the men's side for the U.S. in 50 something years. I forget how many.
I didn't realize you bombed out in the snatch that meet.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
you're a little mentally tough. Okay, carry on.
So first world's gold medal for an American man in a few decades. Then earlier this year in April, at the World Cup in Thailand, I broke a world record, and that is the first world record held by an American, or first senior world record held by an American man in something like 50 years. I forget the exact
10,000 years. A really long time.
Then at that competition, I officially qualified for the Olympics. That was the last qualifying meet. And then at the Olympics, I won the first medal for an American man in the last 40 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, teenagers, Hampton Morris. Amazing.
Yes, that is him.
First Olympian on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Wait, that's so cool.
Yeah, it really is. I felt like we were about to get off the podcast without highlighting that. So I was like, time out. Hold on.
Yeah, time out.
That data.
Yeah, because it's
well,
cool.
Hampton, it was great talking with you.
Yeah.
Anytime you want to come back, and if you think of what makes a snatch a good snatch, you can send us a voice memo and we'll add that to it. But don't give away your secret.
Or just text us and tell me your secret.
Yeah.
King of the jungle, heart of a lion. 4, 3, 2, 1. Watch out, here I come. This is my time.